Good morning, everyone. Today we are doing block 5 in solving linear equations. This is the last lesson before your quiz. So please feel free to slow down or pause this video whenever you need help. Make sure you are answering the questions with the packet as well. So we're going to start with question 1. This first page says, learning something new takes practice. After lots of practice, many skills become automatic. In other words, you have developed automaticity when it comes to these skills. Being automatic with a skill doesn't mean you do it without thinking about it. Rather, it means that you understand the skill and know how to execute it. This frees you to concentrate on applying the skill in new contexts. The same idea is true for learning mathematics. Developing automaticity with certain key algebra skills helps you understand a problem, know what steps you need to take to solve the problem, and execute those steps. Here are some of the skills we've studied up to this point. We've solved linear equations by graphing. We've solved multi-step linear equations with integer values algebraically that require the distributive property. Remember, the distributive property has parentheses. And we've solved multi-step equations with rational numbers algebraically that require the distributive property. So you can call on these skills many times as you continue in this course and in future courses. The practice opportunities in this exploring will help you strengthen your automaticity with these skills. When you first learn something new like a sport or an instrument, you have to learn and practice some basic skills first. The time it takes to master or become automatic with these skills can vary from task to task and person to person. Sometimes it takes a long time to master a skill, and sometimes a skill can be mastered quickly. Watch the video and think about how practice helps people develop automaticity. So in this video, we have a girl skateboarding. She looks like she's jumping up and over onto the top of that platform. In order to master this trick, the skateboarder had to practice it many, many times. Eventually, with enough practice, this trick will become automatic for her. So now we're going to practice some problems with solving equations to improve our automaticity. So we're going to first start by solving this equation by graphing. Now it says drag the dots to create the graph and enter the solution in the blank. So I see our equation is -5 equals -2x minus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start with this -2x minus 3. I see that the -3 is at the end, so I know that that is my y-intercept. So I know I need to have a point that goes down to -3. That is our y-intercept. Now the number in front of the x is our slope always. So this is -2. So that means we're going to go down instead of up because of the negative, down 2. So from 3, or -3, I'm going to go down 2 to -5. And then, because there's nothing underneath it, I know I can put a 1, so I'm going to go over 1. So down 2 over 1. Now, when we're trying to find the solution, what we got to do is look and see at what x value, we're looking for x because we have x equals, at what x value do we have when y equals -5? The answer on the other side of the equal sign is always going to be y equals. So at y equals -5 right here, I see that if I go over, I have my first point at 1. I have that point at 1 on the x-axis. So I'm going to put in 1 for my answer. And that's our answer. The point on the graph where y equals -5 is at 1, -5. This means that x equals 1 is a solution to the equation -5 equals -2x minus 3. Okay, we're going to try another one of these. We have 3x plus 2 equals 8. So again, I'm looking for the number at the end, so I see a 2. We're not looking at after the equal sign, we're looking at just the end of this first part. And that's a 2. So I know that my y-intercept is going to be up to 2. Then my slope is the number before the x, so that's 3. So I know that I'm going to go from 2, I'm going to go up 3. Now be careful, these are going up by 2, so 1, 2, 3 at 5. And because there's nothing underneath it, I know there's a 1, so I'm going to go over just 1. As you can see, we have a line going up right now. Now we have to look for after the equal sign, the 8. At what point does y equal 8? Well, I see y equals 8 right here. I'm going to go over until I hit the line. And if I go straight down here, I see that y equals 8 and x equals 2. So there's one more problem like this. I want you guys to try that on your own. What I want to do first now, though, is go to this problem, because this problem has 2 separate lines. So it doesn't matter which line we pick for which equation, but let's start with 1/4 x plus 2. The y-intercept of this one is going to be 2. So I'm going to move one of my lines up to 2 or down to 2, whichever one you pick. So I have my red line at 2. Then my slope is going to be up 1 and over 4. So I'm going to go from 2, I'm going to go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's my slope, or there's my red line. The second one has a y-intercept of -5. So I'm going to go all the way down to -5. And my slope is 2, so I'm going to go up from -5, up 2, and over 1. Now the answer is where these 2 points are going to meet. So I see they're meeting right here at this point. The x value at that point is 4, so I know my answer is 4. We'll do this one real quick before we move on. So we have 2x plus 4. Let's start with that. Let's just do that one first. So I'm going to go up to 4 this time because that's where my y-intercept is. And it says my slope is 2, so I know I'm going to go up 2. So I'm going to start at 4, go up 2, and over just 1. Now my next one has a y-intercept of -4, so I'm going to bring it all the way down to -4. The slope now, though, is -2 over 3. So instead of going up, I'm going to go down 2, and then over 1, 2, 3. That's the rise over the run. Now I see my 2 lines meet right here at this point. If I go up to my x-axis, I see that at that point, x equals -3. So my solution to both of these is -3. Okay, I'm going to quick move on to problems without graphing. So these problems are solving algebraically. I'm going to quick press the check for the solution, then I'll talk about this problem. So 2x minus 5 equals -8x. I'm going to press check. What I see what they did is they took this 2x and they brought it over to the -8x and they subtracted it. So when they subtracted it, they get -10x. The -5 is left on this side because we didn't touch that. We just only touched this 2x. So now we have -5 equals -10x. If we were to divide by -10 and divide -5 by -10, -5 is half of -10, so we get 1/2 equals x. Next one, we have parentheses. So this is a distributive property. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 2 and we're going to multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So 2 times x becomes 2x. 2 times -4 becomes -8. And then we still have this plus 3 equals 7. Then it looks like they took this -8 and 3 and added them together to get -5 equals 7. Then the 5 went away at the next step, but we have 12 now. So I know that 7 plus 5 equals 12. So they must have done the opposite of -5 and added 5 to get rid of it on this side. So that now we have left 2x equals 12. Then it becomes x equals 6. Well, what they must have done then is saw that 2 and x were being multiplied together. So they had to do the opposite of that and divide. So when they divided by 2, they get x, and they divide 12 by 2, they get 6. So take a look at these problems. Try them first before you check them. You can pause the video and check your answer with what you tried. If you need help, make sure to go back into this unit and review what you needed to do to solve these. Hopefully this helps. There is one more page here, so there is one more set of equations. These ones have fractions, so remember your fraction rules. I'll put these out so you can check them. Please, please, please try them first and then resume the video to check your answer. Review your fraction rules. You could either Google that or look back in this unit to find your fraction rules. Please ask questions if you need help. There's also a guided practice and a more practice assigned for this week on your Agile Mind. So please try that before you take your quiz. And then once you are done, please just finish the quiz and I will grade that as soon as everyone is done. Thanks. Good luck.